Autoline Daily is brought to you by Bridgestone, your journey, our passion, and by Dow Automotive Systems, improving durability and increasing design flexibility with Betamate structural adhesives at dowbetamate.com.
Hello and welcome to Autoline Daily. It's Friday, July 19th, and I'm Michelle Krebs from Edmunds.com, filling in for John today. In the second half of the show, we'll preview this week's Autoline, which is all about leasing. But first, let's get to today's top stories. Earlier in the week, we reported that Ford is suing Japanese supplier Fuji over price fixing and bid rigging of wire harnesses. Now, the U.S. Justice Department says Panasonic has pleaded guilty and will pay a $46 million fine as part of the same probe. Reuters reports the company has pleaded guilty for a price-fixing scheme involving turn and wiper switches sold to Toyota, as well as high-intensity discharge ballast sold to Honda, Mazda, and Nissan. A total of 10 companies and 15 executives have pleaded guilty as part of the scheme. As of 2009, Russia was the 10th largest auto market in the world. Over the last few years, car sales have grown to just under 3 million units a year, which now makes it the 7th largest market in the world. According to a report from the Boston Consulting Group, the Russian market will continue to grow at a rate of 6% a year through the end of the decade and surpass 4.4 million units. That will make Russia the 5th largest auto market, behind only China, the US, India, and Brazil. In the first 6 months of production of the original Ford Mustang, it was referred to as a 1964.5 model. And I'm sure you're all well aware by now that this year marks the 50th anniversary of the pony car. According to Mustang's Daily, Ford will build 1,000 examples of a 2014.5 model with a special VIN and build number to commemorate its anniversary. In other anniversary news, Fuji Heavy Industries, the parent company of Subaru, celebrates its 60th anniversary this month. Back in 1953, 5 companies merged to form Fuji Heavy, and in 1958 the company released its first Subaru called the 360. So we would like to say, happy anniversary! As you know, autonomous vehicle driving tests are already well underway in Nevada, Florida, and California. But now, the BBC reports the UK is set to test self-driving cars on its roads by the end of the year. The tests will be performed by Oxford University and initially start on rural and suburban roads. A backup driver will be in the car just in case of an emergency. It's part of a $43 billion project to reduce traffic jams in the country. And in other technology news, a report from IHS says the automotive wireless market is set for significant growth over the next 5 years. Increased use of technology like Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, and embedded cellular connectivity will boost that market by over 40% by 2018. The technology not only allows customers to pair their smartphones and tablets with their cars, it will also allow drivers to upgrade systems and help with safety and diagnostic issues. Anytime you can force more air into an engine, you're going to increase the power, especially when the air comes from outside the engine compartment. And that's the subject matter for our latest barn find, sent to us from Autoline Daily viewer Les Telkett from Arizona. It appears that a drag racer came up with his own form of ram air using some flexible exhaust tubing and some kind of funnel, something that MacGyver could surely be proud of. The picture was sent to Les by a friend, so unfortunately, not much else is known about it or the car. Maybe you out there can tell us what kind of car this is and what year you think the picture was taken. Send your responses to viewermail@autoline.tv. So is it better to buy a car or lease one? That discussion is coming up next.
Dow Automotive Systems, driving solutions in automotive, commercial transportation, and aftermarket with innovative products like Betamate structural adhesives. Lighter, stronger, safer. dowbetamate.com.
This week's topic on Autoline is all about leasing. Joining John for that show is Scott Hall from the website SUPPLIER.com, Geoff Robinson from Mercedes-Benz Financial Services, and Sam Slaughter from Sellers Buick GMC. In the following clip, they discuss whether it's better to buy a car or lease one.
I think you still get that basic question, don't you, from consumers, whether is it better for me to lease or to own? And it's a very personal decision. And I think really the only thing to do is lay out the benefits, the pros and cons for both, and let people evaluate. So I think, yeah, there's education and training needs to be a constant part of how we present products to consumers. But I think there's a higher degree of confidence now that if I rewind back a number of years, I think there's a higher degree of confidence in leasing as a product and the flexibility that leasing can provide. As people now are into their second or third lease, I think by and large they've had a good experience. We can see from the loyalty and retention figures they must feel generally comfortable with the product.
I think, Scott, to your point on the cell phone contract, it is a little bit of a generational thing. Younger people, older people tend to have this, well, you can't buy it until you can afford it, and even financing a car is a little rough for them. Lease a car, forget it. You never would. But these kids who have grown up with cell phone contracts and disposable iPads and some of these things, to them, it's much more a commodity than buying the old family sedan and driving it for a long time.
I mean, I think that's a key point. I mean, they're very aware now, looking at the generations coming through buying vehicles, they're very aware of not just what's available now, but what's coming down the line. So I think one of the drivers and one of the things we certainly think about when we're marketing is thinking about how can we give them the assurance that they're not locked in for a period of time that takes them beyond where they want to be, and they have the chance to get the latest technology, which is increasingly part of their decisioning.
As always, you can watch that entire show right now on our website, Autoline.tv. And that's it for today's show. Once again, I'm Michelle Krebs from Edmunds.com. Thanks for watching and have a great weekend.
Wards is the industry leader for news, data, and analysis. That's why companies across the globe subscribe to our premium service, maybe even your own. Log in for subscriber access now. Check your company's intranet for details and rely on wardsauto.com to keep you informed.